Oh man. Here we go. Welcome back. Another episode of the Man to Man Pod. We got a sub in today, man. The great first ever three-time guest for the Man to Man Pod. We done had some two-time guests. We got my guy Will Blackman sitting in for AB today, man. How you doing, Will?
Can we just call it nickel defense? You know, can we just call it that? You know, especially me being the first time, three-time guest. You know, I consider a little more than the sub.
I mean, sub defense, sub nickel, dime, whatever you want to call it. You played all of this.
Nickel starting now.
That's true. That's true. They need to get paid like it though, man. But we got Will in today, man. We're gonna have obviously a lot of fun. Appreciate everybody that's returning back for another show, August 25th, another episode of Man to Man Live. We're going to be talking a little PGA, little NBA. You know I got to throw my F1 stuff in there. You follow F1 at all, Will?
Bro, what you mean? you just got to the game. You hardcore now, but you just got to the game.
So you've been in these streets. I should have known.
I've been in. Listen, you know what it is? No. Okay. What happened was during COVID, I found Drive to Survive and I was hooked.
Oh, okay.
I'm the one that advocated for you. You're so busy. You know what it is? You're the man of the people. So you're like, I'll talk to my friends whenever I need to. I'm gonna handle the people. But it's all good.
So you've been on it. Okay, so Spa's returning, they're coming back off their summer break. So maybe we may talk a little F1. We may have to get out of here early. We'll have to get out of here early. But I'm going to talk some F1 for sure. But then obviously NFL talk, some lists, some position groups. We're going to talk ball, man. Obviously, we're going to take your questions. Hit us on Twitter. Use the hashtag M2M Live. Obviously, jump up in the comment section. Always taking live comments, live interactions. We're going to have some fun, man. See y'all on the other side. All right, we back. Back. What's good?
Hey, I was waiting for 50 to drop a verse on that beat right there. The intro.
We've been trying to get AB. I'm glad you said that. AB's been promising us some bars from 2020, and he's been talking with his people. We try to get the price right, but that beat it make you want to put something on there.
That's some G Unit stuff right there.
But before we move on though. It's the locker room in here, so we gotta address the purple elephant in the room. I tell you before we got on camera, I said, Tone, you see this that midlife crisis shit we be going through. We lead the game, we still. What's up with the hair, dog?
Listen, this is not a midlife crisis. It's because I'm known for having not colored hair but different hairstyles, and it's funny. My kids want to see me in Madden, so we went through pretty much every Madden I owned that I was in, and I literally had a different hairstyle in every single Madden. So my tattoo artist, my boy Franco Vescovi,
you let him convince you. You let him convince you that
this is not permanent. I could wash it out today. It's not permanent.
So what you had before this?
My daughter has it now. So,
okay.
Yeah. See, you always got to throw the daughter in just to comment down.
Kids, daughter. I can't mess with you no more, man. But what you got going on? Obviously, been retired for some years now. Post football career, you've been doing a ton of things in media, a ton of things away from media, kind of creating your own lane with your wine company. I know you've been going through a rebranding. What's been going on in Will's world?
Yeah, that's it though. I just been rebranding in the trenches with the wine MVP stuff. Just had my first on-board meeting, so I think we're targeting probably November to launch the wine club, and it's going to be a high-end, gearing it towards the pro athletes who want wine. That's the whole deal. So the company already do events and dinners and tastings and stuff like that. So having fun with that, and then just media-wise, man, I'm just waiting in the weeds.
Yeah.
I just want to call games. We know that. The studio stuff is cool, but calling games is what I'm hoping for. So that's as you know, we both been at the grind. It's a weird industry, bro. But
to say the least, to say the least. But obviously,
but here we are.
Here we are. And we've seen it obviously as players from the inside out. You see, as you've been a football player your whole life, and then you see the business side of things. And then obviously we all grew up watching TV and people cover the game. And then when you branch into that, you see, okay, this works a little differently than I expected. But I ultimately want to call games too, man. I think a lot more of us can be in that booth and will be good at it. And it's funny you even said that that clip you put up Kyle Pitts the other night running by DB, and you gave some great analyst work, some great color. He was like, hey, that looked like I done been on the field. I've been scared before. If I had to say that was anything, that was him being scared. I gave you some shit about it. And then after the game, Kyle Pitts is like, yeah, I just saw him. He was kind of in the scary pedal, like literal words. So I said,
hey, we need because this only, I tell people, man, the things I say on Twitter, I only tweet from experience, bro. I don't just be out there throwing stuff trying to be funny. I tweet from experience because somebody was like, man, what's the technique here? What do they do? Da, 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 da. I'm like, man, it ain't none of that, bro. It's right here, dog. He literally saw that big behemoth of a man who runs a 4.4 full speed at him. And he was like, damn, bro. But I'm like, but I said, read the signs, right? It was Max Pro.
True.
Boundary. The best player was in the boundary. Singled up. Like,
alert. Have some awareness. I don't care what the technique. Bail. Open up. Give up.
And look at that safety. Hey.
Facts. Big facts. So I know, 12 years. You played 12 years, right?
Yep.
So 12-year career. Army All-American in high school. Played both ways in college. Not many have done that. Played both ways at a high level in college.
Have done that. Well done, Darius.
But so I'm sure Will wasn't out there on the field scared a lot. What was the moment, the game, the situation? Because I know it's probably a short menu.
Yeah.
I know mine, it was my first, probably my third start actually, but I was lined up Calvin Johnson, Georgia Tech. Like, motherfucker looked big on film, but he looked 4 inches taller. Arms was damn near touching his ankle. I'm like, let me back up a little bit. But that was probably the one moment I could think about where I had a little pause on the field. What was that moment for you?
Man, I had one in college and then one in the pros. The one in college, my freshman year, we went down to the Orange Bowl. We played that 0-2 Miami team, the one that lost to Ohio State, who should have won.
Yeah, got cheated.
But yeah, I got thrown out there, and I was covering Andre Johnson, and I'm 17 years old. I was just playing against kids in Rhode Island, and I gotta go against this dude. And man, I didn't even know what the play was. I didn't know down the distance. I was like, damn, bro, this is Andre Johnson. And sure enough, he hit me with a double move. They didn't throw it. Ken Dorsey didn't throw it, but man, that right there caught me off guard. But there was one moment, actually, it was, I think, my last year in Washington. So I'm already an OG. So I done seen everything. But we were playing the Patriots in New England, and I was playing corner, and I was backside cover 3, and Gronkowski ran a shallow cross and caught the ball, and there was nobody there but me and him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
a big ass arm brace.
I'm like, damn, bro, I gotta, like, I'm not afraid to hit anybody, but I know, some shit's gonna hurt,
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, and it's at the crib too. Like, I'm from New England, so all my family's down.
Oh, you got 25 people in the stairs.
I'm like, here we go, man. Let's do it. And so I just make my mind up, and then right before I get to him, Mason Foster tackles him, and I'm like, oh my dog. Bro, I said, thank God I didn't.
Well, see, I didn't finish my Calvin Johnson story. So it was the first play of the game. Drop back. He ran a curl on me since I backed off so far, and still took it to the crib 50 yards to start the game for a touchdown. So, hey, you can't be out there playing scared. But I did ball the rest of once you get out of your system, like, all right, shit, it can't get no worse than this. I had a good rest of the game matched up with old Megatron at 21. I was 21, old NCAA video game, like just throw it up to him every time, Megatron.
No, it's funny you say that. When I was at NFL Network, I had a privilege of like being there, and that's when Dion and Rob Woodson were both employees of that network. Mm-hmm. And so in the green room, I mean, it was like the craziest conversations, and they both were talking about like probably 95, 98% of DBs are scared to get beat. He was like,
facts.
Rob Woodson was like, bro, I used to get cooked. He said, but that's how I learned, just go out there and just figure it out. And eventually, like anything else, you get desensitized to it, right? Like for me, a lot of guys were afraid to return punts. Why? Because, got that halo, right? Getting laid out. Once I got smacked in the face, I was good.
Y'all different. Y'all got to be wild. A little different back there, returning punts, catching punts. I saw old boy out in Dallas doing his thing, but KP, he looked like he could be special. He different, but obviously it's preseason. We'll see how it is on the big stage. But returning punts.
I feel like returning punts in the specialists in the preseason, I think that translates more in the regular season.
Agreed.
It's a return. It's different or specialist plays. Now, obviously, everything else.
You got a lot of the same players that's going to be out there on Sundays.
Same players. That's a real good point.
Yeah, he felt pretty good. I think the second half he came out with his sunflower seeds, so he did what he had to do.
He did. But, that's how you know. But I saw in your story, he said, "Hey, if someone just gives me a chance, I bet I lead the league in both." This is in January.
That's the thing, man. You speak. I'm a huge proponent of, manifesting things, speaking things into existence, and then when your opportunity comes, you got to show up. That's obviously outside of football. We're talking about calling games. We're going to have opportunities this year going forward to maybe get bumped up in a position or a role that we didn't expect, be in a situation or around people.
Me and you just
we might have to do that too. We might have to do that, create our own shit.
We have to ski match the booth.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but let's get to it.
Got to be ready, man. And sticking to Dallas, man, Tyron Smith, left tackle, obviously protecting Dak's blind side, the most valuable franchise in the world, Cowboys. They've been disappointed, obviously, in playoffs for years on years. He's been banged up, Ty Smith, and now he suffered an ugly injury. Let me see the tweet from around the NFL. Breaking Cowboys left tackle, Tyron Smith suffers an avulsion fracture of the knee, out until at least December. Thoughts on this injury? How does it affect the Cowboys' chances this year?
I mean, that's massive because everything is predicated on the O-line, especially for that team and how they work. I think Dak, he's talented enough where he might be able to overcome some of that. But I was real excited for this to be, the year Zeke makes his return. I had the privilege of going to the Cowboys-Chargers joint practice.
And, you did. That's right.
And Zeke looked in shape, man. Everything looked great except that nasty ass helmet he wearing right now, looking like speaking of F1, looking like an F1 driver.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm excited for that, But that's a massive loss. I mean, that's you got like 4 premier positions in the league, and that's one of them.
Definitely one of them. Obviously, protecting and affecting the quarterback. That's number one on most teams' list. Protect the money. And I guess the good thing about it is Dallas has kind of been somewhat used to this. So you would think at least have a plan with somebody to step in there and hold it down. But you talking about December for a guy, this age who's been dealing with, I think he's only 31, but he's been dealing with injuries in like the last 3-4 years.
But not just the age, the mileage. Like I don't know how many games he played already. That's a big deal too,
Absolutely. So that'd be big, especially with a receiver core that ain't looking too good right now, at least going into the season. You got CD. Gallup is reportedly ahead of schedule. I don't think he's going to start on the PUP list, but I don't think he'll be out there week 1. I think they need to, my opinion, I know you big on Zeke. You're looking forward to him having to bounce back year. I think they got to get the ball in Pollard hand more. 20, whether that's out of the backfield, whether that's touches, he's got to get 15 touches a game because he's a game breaker. Like he's explosive with that ball in his hand. So I think that'll be one of Dallas' key success. And another guy we talked about, Trevon Diggs, and a lot of people have been talking about him.
Right.
this offseason, I feel like only negative things have been said about Trevon Diggs. Honestly, I only see negative highlights, him giving up touchdowns, him getting beat in practice.
It's because he plays for Dallas.
We know that, but he had 11 picks last year. That's something that doesn't really happen in the NFL. Right. Played a lot of man coverage. Obviously, gave up a lot of yards as well. Was 12-year NFL veteran, DB, played all over the secondary. What's your opinion on Trevon Diggs, and where does he rank? In the echelon of the cornerbacks in the league?
I think the cool thing with Trevon Diggs is he does the most difficult thing to do as a DB. He gets the ball like that. I feel like you've been around so many guys who had outstanding technique. They knew the game plan, they knew where to be, but when that ball's in the air, they don't know what to do, and I feel like he already has that ability. So right now it's down to, Coach Al Harris and Joe Witt to teach him how to actually now be a student. Because what a lot of people, I see a lot of DBs fall, go backwards, because what happens is, okay, now you become a main DB in the league, or just any position, you become a main target. So teams now have a ton of film on you on how to continue to exploit that. So what do? You beat them to the punch. You self-scout yourself and see how people are attacking you, and then you keep evaluating and learning the game. I say it all the time. It sounds like I'm a fanboy, but I had the privilege of playing with Charles Woodson, bro. Like, he beat everybody to the punch every single. For him to, be a all-pro or whatever at like 45 years old,
and played everywhere again. Played outside, played inside, played safety,
played everywhere. And so I was the privilege, like I said, being next to him. I said he was a big corner, by the way. I didn't realize he was that tall in person, unless I shrunk because I'm getting older.
He listed at 6'2".
Yeah,
listed at 6'2".
All 6'2".
Yeah. So you say he looked about 6'4" out there. And some guys are like that.
Yeah. And he was like, hey, the only way for him to go up is up. And I think he can handle all that. So for him, I think just preparation is going to be his key this year. But I think he's definitely up there in terms of one of the best corners.
Yeah, the good thing about it is he has so much room to grow. Like, this dude been playing corner. He's been playing corner for 4 or 5 years. He got there full time at Bama as a junior. Was a returner, was a wide receiver before that. And then was a first team All-American as a senior. And then I don't know if you do, but I look at bloodline too. If I look across the league and see Stephon Diggs, his brother, is a top 5 wide receiver. And I'm gonna be bullish on his younger brother that came in and, like you said, doing something the hardest thing to do. It's rare for DBs to have the type of ball skills that he has. And then on top of the ball skills, he has the returner skills to take it to the crib if he has the opportunity. So the amount of boxes that you would just have to check off for just rare traits that you don't come across often, you got to be excited about. Obviously, you got to clean up some of the stuff. So right now, he'll probably be in my, top, like, probably 7-8 guys, just because of
I'm going to compare. I just thought of a comparison, and this is, now that you mentioned he's only played corner for a short time, but he definitely reminds me, someone probably said it, but he reminds me of a young Sherman, young Richard Sherman, because Sherman only played corner, 2 years at Stanford?
Yeah, he was a receiver,
And then he came into the league, and people were upset he was making plays. I think he had, 18 picks in his first, 3 years, something crazy. Like, he had 2 back-to-back seasons where he had 8 picks. Crazy. No technique, but staying over top, cover 3. But Sherman, I know he was a smarter player in terms of he understood stuff and continued to develop that as he got older. But
see, this is where I think Diggs is a much better athlete than Sherman.
So
Sherman, he had the edge.
Sherman would tell you.
Yeah, books wise, knowing what's coming, playing his assignment exceptionally well, being where he's supposed to be, and then obviously creating the turnovers.
That's exactly what Sherman. That's exactly what Sherman told me.
Yeah, but Trevon Diggs, his athleticism. So if he gets more of that Sherman playbook stuff, the sky is the absolute.
Exactly. And that's what Sherm told me. Sherm legit said, hey, I know I'm not the best athlete in terms of what I can do. He goes, but I know what every mother effing receiver is going to do.
Yeah.
I'll tell you everything they do. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. So moving on, staying at division, though. One of your former team. the Giants. Saquon Barkley, former number 2 overall pick. It sounded a little spicy. It is the offseason. A lot of people say a lot of things, but F everybody. I'm ready to go crazy. I'm going to make him feel me. We've been talking about Saquon for years on this pod. Actually, me and AB, I was saying a couple years ago, like, hey, the Giants need to trade Saquon and get as much as they can for him in return at the time. I think at this point, you got to try to – it's kind of too late for that. You don't pay him, in my opinion, based on what's transpired already in his career. But if you look at it just talent-wise, special talent.
No question.
But can he stay on the field? Can he be every down back in the National Football League? I know you watch this division closely, one of your former teams, man. What's your thoughts on 2-6 up there in New York?
You see him.
Oh, he back there?
The helmet.
Okay. Oh, you talking about the helmet.
You thought Saquon was here? What's up, dog?
I thought you had a jersey back there. Okay.
No. I don't have many jerseys, by the way. I wish I did that. I missed the boat.
I got two. I got Trail's jersey, actually. 2-6. Roll. Trail, big Trail.
Where Trail at? Yeah, I think it's hard for a running back because you depend on so much around you to go right. This isn't high school where you're like, man, give me the ball, everybody move, and I'm gonna just handle it. It's not all Pop Warner. It's not like that. Obviously, right now they're already suffering a lot of health issues. That's the biggest thing for the team. But I mean, I still believe in his talent, but it's just a matter of like things just gotta go right overall. I actually thought it should have been a good idea for, them to talk to San Fran about a trade. I think he would be absolutely bananas, with Shanahan. And I was like, yeah, I would have moved him too. And who knows what may happen. I always say you get a new GM, you get a new head coach. Like everyone is auditioning right now because with the exception of this year's draft, none of these are their guys.
Facts.
So everyone's auditioning, regardless how big time of player you are. I mean, you look at Chicago, trying to pay, Roquan Smith, Ryan Poles, again, he thinks the world of him, but what is the long-term plan for this team? Do we want to invest in a linebacker that much money when, it's not guaranteed, but there's some top linebackers coming in next year.
Yeah,
in the draft too. So where
and then you mentioned premium positions earlier too, and that's the thing. That's the thing that a lot of people in front offices look at as well.
Is not.
Yeah, the off-ball linebacker is not one of those premium positions.
That's why
you're a guy like
Bobby.
Leonard. Yeah, exactly.
Bobby, one of the greatest linebackers ever.
Yeah, and he went and joined the Super Bowl champs, which is wild.
Bro, I talked to him. I was like, because I went to a Rams practice and I was like, what's up, man? He was like, bro, it's good. I was like, it's crazy. It's kind of like 13 Seattle out here. He goes, bro, that's exactly what it feels like. Because you just got the culture is already there and you got dudes everywhere. Like he walked in just fitting there perfect. Now,
especially at this point in his career too.
Yeah. Let's get Bobby so we can shut down that San Fran run because they've been getting on them safeties early.
Big facts. I'm happy for Bobby. I'm happy out there because I think Seattle is in I know Pete Carroll's up there in age, but they look like they are in. I don't know if they know it or not, but they're in full rebuild mode.
Yeah, they need to trade for Lamar.
Yeah, so I'm back. Whoa. Let's bounce around. Let's move around the league. Matter of fact, let's go to Indy real quick before we continue to bounce around these storylines. Gus Bradley. Your guy, you hit him up, you reached out, you actually connected us. He reached out to me. We spoke and did kind of like an interview thing before the season, but he seemed like a great guy. I was at Colts camp maybe 2 weeks ago now. Saw him again, talked to a bunch of the vets, the players on defense, everybody I spoke to just raves about Gus Bradley's his energy, his communication skills, his relationship skills. What do you think Gus is going to bring in this defense, man, down here in Indy?
He's going to get guys to play hard for him, man, and that's what it does. He probably is – he might be the most genuine coach I ever came across at the professional level.
That's important.
Because at the end of the day – because here's what I tell people. I said I could play for any kind of coach. Like if you're going to curse me out, if you're going to do whatever, but at the end of the day, if your best interest is for me to do well – I'm all yours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Once like your ego gets involved, you lost me. Like me and you ain't gonna tell me nothing. I'm gonna go handle it myself. But that's the thing for Gus, man. He really invest in every single person on the defense, and he's gonna let you know. He'll spend individual time. He's gonna do all these things, and he for real cares. And as especially us, we're grown men, we're adults. It's like kids. Like we know when it's legit and when it's not.
Facts.
So that's the thing with him, and he's consistent. The one thing I respect is when we were in Jacksonville, we were awful, right? We started 0-8. He came in every day, like believing in his vision, super positive, everything. And I mean, there was nothing going right for us. And he came every day and still like, hey, this is what it is, guys. This is what it is. We had to start from scratch. So that's what it is for him, man. This is genuine appreciation, is consistency.
And you were with him in Seattle and Jacksonville. So Seattle was the coordinator, Jacksonville was the head coach, right?
Yeah.
So we talked to Yannick Ndakwe, who's also a new addition to the squad, coming off the edge, and he kind of shared those same sentiments. Like,
yeah, because he had him in Jacksonville and Oakland.
Yep, he said the same thing, consistent, regardless of what's going on. I think he had him in Jacksonville, Vegas, and now this is his third stint with him. So hopefully he fits right in off the edge.
If you can get that kind of relationship with a coordinator, that's how you do it, man. That's like D Rose and Thibodeau, man. Like, just hey, wherever you go, I'm there.
Yeah, facts. It's a relationship business.
It is, period.
You better believe it. Before we get into Jason McCourty's new Good Morning Football host, shout out to J Matt. Congratulations again on that gig. So we're gonna get that to his top 10 wide receiver list. Matter of fact, yeah. So we got season jumping off early. Amazon, they got their first one tonight. I believe it's San Fran and Houston. They're going to kick off this NFL season for us on Thursday night football. It's going to be new. Amazon and Direct. This is a tweet from Front Office Sports as far as their coverage. Amazon and Direct TV. Y'all know how I feel about Direct TV. But they have agreed to a multi-year deal that will allow Thursday night football to be carried in 300,000 bars, restaurants, casinos, and other venues. So that's obviously huge for Amazon and Thursday night football. The Amazon era of Thursday night football begins tonight. This evening's preseason game between the 49ers and the Texans will be the NFL's first ever game exclusively available on streaming. The needle continue to move. Everything continue to move towards streaming. Are you excited about this? Who was it? Al and Kirk Herbstreit, right? I like Kirk.
Yep. I actually I met Al for the first time, like to hang out with him. I met him in LA. I was with Colin.
This saw that.
Cool. Yeah, this is cool, man.
Yeah, bougie shit, man.
Nah, but listen. So this is crazy, right? So I go up to Al Michaels before I get in my Uber to go home, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't know who people were." He met so many people. I'm like, "Hey, well, Black was I know who you are." I called a bunch of your games. He was like, "I'll tell you what, though." He said in 2007 when you had 2 special team touchdowns, I wish that was a night game, because it would have been more popular on like ESPN. It was a day game, and you had a punt return. Bro, he said 2000. He literally said 2007 and said the whole thing, my whole game.
Bro, them dudes are different, and a lot of them are like that. I remember meeting Chris Berman for the first time, and he'd been around the game forever, and this dude. I was surprised he knew who I was.
That's what I'm saying.
But he knew my whole draft class from UConn. He's like, yeah, Will Beatty and Donald Brown. I'm like, dude, you've been around for 40 years. You done covered 40 different draft class, different teams. So those dudes, there's something different about them. They're professionals, obviously, just like we work in our crafts and are in our current crafts. But
but I'm excited about this. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm always on the move, man. So I like to have the game whenever, wherever, man. So I think this is dope. You just never know. Like I might be at, my son's game or what's going on. You know what I mean? So this is like you said, Direct TV, but they strained me up last year. They I never had my games, but apparently they were charging me all year, but I'm not getting any games.
For Sunday ticket?
For Sunday ticket. Straining me up. And
we get that free, I think, too.
Yeah, and I try to do it. They
okay.
I'm
and NFL Plus. So
yeah,
we got to make sure we get on that. But let's jump into a top 10 list. We don't do many lists on this show because it's hard to do. It's impossible to be accurate. I don't watch all the games. I don't know.
Yes, you do.
But I watch a lot of games.
You watch a lot of games.
I do. I watch a lot. I watch more than anybody else, probably. No, I won't say that. But anyway, Jason McCourty, from, like I said, 12, 13-year NFL vet. He got drafted the same year. Top 10 wide receivers entering the 2022 NFL season, according to J-Mac. Devontae Adams at the top of the list. Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs. So that's the top 5. And then you got Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel, Mike Evans, A.J. Brown, and Keenan Allen. Any surprises on this list? How you feel about this? Good list, bad list, okay? What would you change around? I'm gonna start right at the top. Mine.
Yeah, I mean,
and I love
Devontae is he's one. He's one. Period.
I disagree.
I think
wholeheartedly, but continue.
You said wholeheartedly. I just feel like I feel like he's the guy you can plug in any system, anywhere, anytime, any place, and like he's legit. He's the dude. The AJ Brown thing is interesting. I think that's interesting for him to be in the top. No, actually, you know what? Let's get to you. I want your controversy. You know, no. Before you say anything, let me go down my list. Okay, let me go down.
Oh, you got your own list?
No. Put the list back up for me.
Go ahead. Let me see. Let me hear what
this should be the top 10 list of who DBs are afraid to put their hands on. That's what this is. Because none of these dudes get touched. Pause.
Yeah. Good off the ball. But yeah, Devontae, go ahead, man. Let me hear you got.
Cooper Kupp. Here's the thing with Jamar Chase, bro, is I know everyone's like he's young, he's give it time, wait for an encore, but I feel like what he just did last year, like not just stat wise, but what he did on a straight up film to film basis. Is he showed like he is that dude? Like
he's in the conversation for the best receiver in the
no question about it. And a lot of these young DBs, he cooked them in college already.
Facts. So he's different.
Like people are afraid of him, And I always say the most dangerous thing about a really good or an elite receiver is when they have an elite quarterback. Mm-hmm. It is. Like I remember what Big Ben and AB, like AB didn't even run routes, bro. He just got open. Now, gonna find out he did it on his own, but still, like Ben was
sometimes,
yes,
because Ben was one of those players, and that's the hardest thing for us. Like, because if we can study film and we got this format, he's gonna be there. We can anticipate this. And you can be right, but Big Ben will be like, all right, let me throw this dude off. But on the same page. So, but let me get to mine. Let me get to mine. So, a lot of people, I agree. The Jamar Chase respect isn't as high as it should be right now. Him and Justin Jefferson could be.
Because everyone's they hate on you. Not yet. All right.
Yeah, not yet. Too early. Oh, only 1 year. That was a year after taking a year off from everything and coming in. Same thing with Michael Parsons on the other side of the ball, but different conversation for a different day. Cooper Kupp right now. The disrespect with Cooper Kupp is up there too, because I love Devontae Adams. Best releases in the games. His routes are incredible. Did some incredible things with the back-to-back MVP out there in Green Bay. And he will continue to do so in Oakland, in Vegas, I think. But Cooper Kupp is coming off of the most dominant wide receiver season that I've seen personally. I'm sure Jerry Rice has better ones. I remember the Randy Moss when he had 23 touchdowns. To top it off with a Super Bowl, he was the best player on that team outside of Aaron Donald. He was the best
player in the playoffs.
He could have been in the damn MVP conversation. He should have been in a real legitimate MVP conversation.
That would never happen because
it wouldn't. It won't. But his numbers, his production, and when you watch games, you know what it is for us. Like most of these games is 65 plays, 70 plays, and most of them it's kind of a back and forth. And it's 4 or 5 plays that make the difference in the game.
Right.
You know that. Cooper Kupp is usually a part of those 4 or 5 plays in the biggest moments, biggest game. We know the ball going in, and it still gets to 10, and he makes a play. So
that's your point right there, though.
Easy
he's
one.
Getting the ball.
Triple crown.
He's getting the ball.
Triple crown. Super Bowl champ. Like, what are we talking about here? Why is everybody putting Devontae Adams 1 on their list? I don't.
Because Cooper.
Why? Explain this to me, please.
Because he had OBJ.
So what?
What?
And Devontae Adams had the best thrower of the ball ever. Everybody got somebody.
That's not valid because OBJ was over there.
No, OBJ got there late, number one. Yes. And OBJ is unbelievable. Like still dynamic. Like he was on his way to being a damn Super Bowl MVP before he got hurt.
Yeah, and that's valid for the
before
second half of the
OBJ.
season.
When Robert Woods was there, he got hurt. When Van Jefferson, it's been Cup, and especially since Stafford came over.
I'm not putting Woods and Vance in the same thing as OBJ, man. That's not.
Absolutely not. But I'm saying it doesn't matter who was there. OBJ wasn't there the whole time. It don't matter who was there. Cooper Kupp was still. He may have 2 games, maybe 2, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, where he didn't hit 100 yards.
Cooper Kupp, no, that's your argument is valid for him to be number 1. I'm not saying he shouldn't be. I'm just saying like why people wouldn't put him. I said perhaps that he had, an assistant.
That can't be it. That can't because
that's a big deal.
We talk Chase. That's the best receiver core in the league. One of the best quarterbacks. I mean, it's football. You got to have complementary players. It's not just one player going out there just doing everything. But
you know what? Again,
how are you not game plan? If you're not game planning, if it's 37, you don't have 2 guys with Cooper Kupp. That's
I'm defending you.
I'm
on your side. I'm on your side, saying that there was nobody else on offense really, because even OBJ had to learn the offense. He didn't know what to do when he got there. Eventually.
Man,
what about AJ Brown at 9? You changed that or no?
You know what? Too high for me.
Right.
Too high for me. Shouldn't be on the top 10 list, in my opinion. Not going to fight it. Talent-wise, he's got it. I think he played like 55% of the snaps.
I think I put Mike Evans at 6.
I would put I think Mike Evans has been disrespected his entire career, but he's productive. He's controlled that middle of the field.
He's never not had a 1,000-yard season, right?
Yeah, all 1,000 yards, almost always 12 or more touchdowns, which is nuts.
It had several quarterbacks.
Yeah, Keenan Allen, I'll bump him up a couple spots.
You know what? I take out AJ Brown.
Who's not on this list then? Who comes in if AJ Brown goes off? He won't be in there the first 6 years. I mean, first 6 games.
It don't matter.
Okay, so he's still coming into the 2022 season. He's still top 10.
Ability is ability. He out there. He out there.
Okay. Well, I understand why he's omitted from this list. Maybe he mentioned that. So let me see. Who would come in? So maybe AJ Brown does belong.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Nah, you know what? I put Terry McLaurin over AJ Brown. Honestly, I might put DK Metcalf over AJ Brown.
I definitely would take DK.
Keenan Allen, I like it. Everybody else in this list is deserving. But yeah, Cooper Kupp should be 1. I'm mad at this list though. List is solid. Now you look around the league, and I would say probably one consensus across the board where everybody who watches football would say that's the best player at his position. That's Aaron Donald.
Okay.
I think all other positions probably a conversation. At least I know you got to get out of here.
Yep.
But who else? Any other consensus best players at their position?
Yeah.
Edge,
Trent is the other one.
The left tackle. True.
Yeah.
That is
I just saw that. Yeah. Trent is legit because he's to me, man, he is one of the best athletes I have ever seen. Period. Like we used to do stuff in practice in Washington. We used to do stuff in practice where we actually had to put him in the backfield, did a sweep with him, and he literally was like, he looked like Iverson with that thing. Or he'll throw a 75-yard dart. Like he can hoop. Like he was nice like that. So I honestly really see like
those the only 2
consensus. And I don't
quarterback. Know. Who's the best quarterback in the league right now, according to Will Blackman? Before you get out of here,
best QB.
Yeah, because Mahomes is getting a lot of disrespect, I think, right now.
Which is crazy because this is what people understand. I feel like with the Chiefs, as long as you have Mahomes and Andy Reid, like you Gucci,
you're gonna be straight.
And you just make sure you got fast receivers because when it's go time, it's street ball.
Yeah.
That's why I'm telling you, man, I'm so excited for Josh Gordon. I think this is it. I think this is it, bro.
You be holding out hope for so many. You had hope for Tavon Austin in Buffalo.
Tavon, that's different. Tavon was different. I'm hoping, but I know Josh, dude. I'm telling you, he is every great receiver combined in one man.
Agreed.
Okay.
I saw him firsthand.
Okay.
So quarterback, we gotta get the quarterback before we get out of here. Best quarterback, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that one.
Yeah,
Tom Brady, best quarterback in the league. I mean, he had an unbelievable year last year, so definitely not controversial at all.
The best Tom Brady's greatest attribute is his mental endurance. Because how can you be?
Well, I mean, he just took a 12-day. He fresh off
how
a 12-day vacation.
How can you have everything and still go out there and continue to keep doing it? Like, he has nothing else to prove. Like, I remember last year during the season, he was upset because of a Wednesday's practice because it wasn't right. That's what I'm saying.
That's what make him different. Yeah, for sure. That's what make it. That's the MJ. That's MJ.
A lot of guys can throw, but it's him. Like, it's just him being able to control between the ears. I mean, that's what makes him better than anybody out there. He just knows he knows the business of winning. Period.
Mental endurance. Hey, appreciate you today, Will, man. Always bring incredible stuff to the show. Enjoy your son's baseball game, man.
I'll see you
next time.
I'll
Fourth time.
Purple hair. You have purple hair next time.
Absolutely not. All right, bro.
I'm it.
All right, man. So that was good. Appreciate Will once again jumping on with us. I might have to finish. Who else? Let me think about this. Let's think. Help me out in the comments, guys. Who are the best at their position? Are there any more consensus though? Right tackle, that may be Lane Johnson right now. Might be punter. Who's the best? Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker is the best kicker in the league. Tight end, Travis Kelce. Some people may say Kittle or Waller or Andrews. I'm going to go with Trent Williams, Aaron Donald, Travis Kelce. I want to say Lane Johnson, but honestly, I'm not an offensive line. I don't feel comfortable enough saying that. I would lean on my offensive line guys. I'm comfortable with Trent Williams, but corner, the best corner in the league. Jair Alexander, Xavier Howard, Jalen Ramsey. Who am I missing? Who should be at least in that conversation? Denzel Ward's pretty good. I don't think he's in that combo yet. Marshawn. I like Marshawn a lot. New Orleans. Guard. Quinn Nelson, Zach Martin. It's a conversation. We're going to have to follow this conversation up with obviously my guy AB. Safety. Best safety. You got Byard. You got Derwin James, Justin Simmons. So many good players, man. Off-ball linebacker, Leonard. Fred Warner. My guys, man. Michael Parsons. It's a weapon. Somebody said my mic is static. Let me swap that thing out then. And it's been like this the whole time, guys. TJ Watt. See a lot of TJ Watts. People saying it's the best. Is the mic better? Let me know if the mic's better. TJ Watt. Best edge rusher. Myles Garrett. You got Nick Bosa. Joey Bosa. Got some dogs off the edge right now. I don't know, man. But hands down, obviously, Aaron Donald. It's a good conversation. Gonna follow that conversation up with AB. Once again, appreciate. Big thank you to my guy, Will Blackman, for joining the show. What else we want to jump into, man? Talked about live golf tourney. I want to know if my mic is good. I mean, no, it sounds like you're speaking from an empty room, according to Triple J. I don't like that, but it's fine. Let me see if I can swap some out though. Now you know what? Let me just keep rocking. We'll be all right. But yeah, so we've been talking obviously live golf since the beginning, since it popped off. A lot of players were taking a lot of heat for taking that money. Me and AB agreed on, hey, look, these athletes, you got a certain amount of time, you're playing your sport, you're at the top of your sport, you deserve to be paid, or get this money, as much of it from wherever you deem is okay. And that's what these players have been doing. And now the PGA have made some significant changes. Shocker, surprise, big changes are coming to the PGA Tour. Faces a competition from Live Golf. Commissioner Jay Monahan announced a host of changes to ramp up excitement for fans and add incentives for players. Also, Tiger Woods and Rory just announced the launch of a new golf league, the TGL, in partnership with the PGA. The TGL will have 6 teams of 3, 15 Monday night matches, first of its kind tech-infused venues. The TGL tees off January 2024. So that's crazy. Just that quick. We have all this innovation, all this new money for players. It's very, very interesting how that works, isn't it? So now all those players, I think, in my opinion, they deserve apology letters from everybody that's even still in the PGA Tour. Because now y'all get more money, y'all get more benefits, y'all doing cool shit. Look at this, man. Look at this setup. Because we went out there and took a leap of faith to Live Golf. But nah, man, it's good to see. It's great to see. These golfers, having more opportunity, getting paid more, not having to come out of their pocket as much. When you're the best of the best, you should be paid as such. So competition, it breeds innovation, it breeds changes. A lot of people complain about a lot of things that, the NFL does, on or off the field. But there's no real competition for the NFL. So as long as we keep showing up, I literally have an entire cable package, DirecTV. I have DirecTV only because they have Sunday package. So it's almost pointless for me to be in a whole uproar about a lot of the shit they do. Now, I'm going to speak on it. Something they do bothers me. I'm going to speak on it. But then on Sunday, they know I'm going to be watching the game still. So that's why they are who they are. NBA, same thing. Obviously, it's basketball around the world. But there's no real competition coming for the NBA. The PGA, you start throwing these big bags at people who aren't going to make that money in the PGA, aren't going to compete to be, all-time, whatever. Yeah. Now, the Tigers and the Royals, they can turn it down because they're billionaires anyway or on their way to being. But everyone else can't. So I'm glad to see it, man. Glad to see it changing. That was quick. Real quick. It's shot. It's shot. Where did all that money come from? F1. Will's out of here. I forgot Will was in the F1, man. God, I should have known. But F1 is back. They are finally off their summer break. Grand Prix will be August 28th. Out there in Spa. Obviously, Max Verstappen right now, Red Bull driver. He's running away with the championship right now. Red Bull's also kind of running away with the Constructors' Championship as well, which is the championship of the team. So both drivers, that would be Max Verstappen and Checo Perez for Red Bull. Ferrari's in second place with Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz as their drivers. And then Mercedes is in third place with the GOAT, Sir Lewis Hamilton, and George Russell as their drivers. McLaren, I think, have Alpine in fourth place in the Constructors, and then McLaren in fifth, but it's like a couple point difference between the two. It's a big news coming out of McLaren. The other Honey Badger, he goes by the Honey Badger too. Daniel Ricciardo, one of the more popular F1 drivers, is leaving McLaren after this season. So after the second half of the season, he'll be out at McLaren. Actually the last, I think, McLaren driver to get a dub in that car. But this is teammate Lando Norris. What a ride, Daniel Ricciardo, from the moment at Monza to the last we've had out of the car. It's been a joy working with you these last 2 years. Whatever's next, I wish you all the best. Let's have a mega next few months. So Daniel Ricciardo's out at McLaren. I think Oscar Piastri will be taking his seat. And then we'll see where Daniel ends up next year. If he ends up anywhere, it's tough those seats are tough to get and obviously hold. But it's going to be an interesting finish to the F1 season. I'm excited. If you haven't got in yet, it's probably too late because football season's here now. So fuck it. But for me, it's just going to be the best fall ever. We'll see who comes out and gets the first victory the second half out there at the Belgian Grand Prix. I'll be tapped in. I'll be putting out my picks on Saturday night after qualifying on Saturday morning. So my picks will be out, fastest lap. I'll bet on first car to retire. I'll bet on, obviously, who gets on the podium, top 6 finish. And then, obviously, who's going to win. Those are usually my bets. And I'll look at whatever FanDuel has as far as the Super Boost goes. But it's going to be fun. Going to be fun. What else we got? NBA, a little bit of NBA news. Chet Holmgren, number 2 pick in the NBA draft, will miss the entire 2022-23 NBA season for the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's tough. That's obviously tough for that team and tough for Chet, man. I was looking forward to his rookie year, number 2 overall pick. Obviously bought out in college that 1 year. A lot of people were concerned about his frame. Frail, skinny dude coming into the league. Got hurt playing in a pro-am out there in Seattle. He was guarding LeBron, hurt his foot. And then people had some questions, man. I had some people in my group chat like, hey, now that this has happened, the NBA probably going to tell their players, hey, chill out on those pro-ams. We don't want you playing in this. We don't want you playing in that. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think that'll be the case. And pro-ams usually are some of the best places for pros to get 5-on-5 open court runs, because obviously you got pros in there playing and you have some amateurs, and amateurs that play at a somewhat high level, maybe collegiately, maybe somewhere else, but you're playing against good basketball players. And that's obviously important when you play basketball. You kind of know how to take care of each other. So, but it's sports. It's a contact sport. It's basketball. Injuries happen. This unfortunately happened out there in Seattle. So setback, but I still expect him to have a long, successful career. I think it was a Liz Frank injury, which is a significant injury. I would say somewhat similar to like what an ACL injury is to your knee. I'm no doctor, all right, but you get a Liz Frank, it's kind of one of those things. Sometimes people bounce back and they're completely normal. I've had teammates who this has bothered them their entire career. So we'll see how this turns out for Chet. But MJ, the big homie, the GOAT, he took care of his players, man. Even today's NBA players, for those of you who don't know, you may learn something new today at the Man to Man Show, Man to Man Pod. Michael Jordan had a clause in his contract. It was called a quote, for the love of the game clause. And it allowed him to play basketball anytime, anywhere, for any reason. And obviously it wouldn't affect his contract. And obviously the Bulls were never in a position to renegotiate that. And then the NBPA, National Basketball Players Association, according to a current NBA player that I texted this morning just to verify this information because I couldn't find it online, the NBPA put this in everyone's contract. So players can play basketball anytime, anywhere, for any reason, and not affect, their NBA salary. And once again, it wasn't like Chet was just playing, anywhere, some rinky-dink, whatever, even though there were some issues with the court that he was playing on, but it was a pro-am, and unfortunately it happened. So I don't see any significant changes coming from the NBA. Definitely a tough break. But shout out to MJ for taking care of his guys. Producer, my guy Tone, asked me before we got on camera, like, does the NFL have something similar? And to my knowledge, I'm not sure if it was in his new CBA, but to my knowledge, no. To my knowledge, you get hurt on your own time. You could be doing football drills somewhere. You could be playing basketball, hockey, skiing, snowboarding, volleyball, badminton. You get hurt, it's the team's discretion to say, hey, we still gonna take care of you and honor a contract, or hey, this is the easy way out because you got hurt off our premises, away from OTAs, away from our facility, away from training camp. You got hurt in your own time. So they can do that. And we had a situation like that in the league a few years back with Terrell Suggs, tore his Achilles, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, playing basketball. And the Ravens, being who the Ravens kind of have been or are known to be, we've heard a lot of people talk about that Ravens culture. The Ravens still looked out, still took care of him, still paid him his salary until he, recovered and healed through that injury. Now, would they have done that with a rookie? Probably not. once again, we're always going to go back to that BA statement. At this point, Suggs was probably the all-time leader in Ravens sack history, whatever, all-time sack leader in Ravens history. They took care of the guy. So everybody will be treated fair. We all won't be treated the same. But shout out, Tom. But yeah, you got to be careful. Got to be saying something I did every offseason. I played basketball. I played a lot. I was kind of tried to be somewhat careful about who I played with, because that's important. Because you go and show up at the wrong LA Fitness or 24-hour Fitness, and oh shit, that's so yeah, he played for the and then some guys may want to play like it's Game 7 of the finals. So I kind of go with places people I'm familiar with, and everybody's taking care of each other. And I would always remind everybody, look, we paying to be here. Ain't nobody paying us, all right? Everybody got to work on Monday. So let's take care of each other. We ain't diving for balls. If I go up for a fast break, like, don't run up on me. Don't touch my legs. I'm going to respect you the same way. It's important, man. It's important. Got to watch these clowns. But I think we flew through everything, man. Obviously, Amazon they kick off the Thursday night football. That's exciting for Amazon, exciting for the league. We'll see how it is for consumers. But I was all right. I was cool. I like Kirk Herbstreit though. And they got a lot of former athletes involved with the Amazon show. So it's going to be I think it's going to be a good deal for the league. They got some damn good games. So I think it's going to be a good deal for the league, man. But I think we got through everything. Let me see if we got any good questions before I get up out of here. Tossing horseshoes. Shout out to the pod. Love tuning in weekly. Appreciate you. Appreciate that, man. We appreciate everybody that tunes in weekly. Especially, I see a lot of very familiar names who've been around for a minute. Nakiba, Zach. I'm looking at the list. Triple J chimed in earlier. Jeremy, Mikey, Javier. Like, these are a lot of names I've been seeing from me. Getting Trashy out. Shout out to Trashy. Got us a good interview. Never forget Trashy. But yeah, man, shout out to everyone that tunes in. G.I. Joe. Everybody, man. Shout out to everybody. Appreciate the love. Dante S. You catch that man Tateo doc yet? I did. So when I was on Pat's show last week, he talked about it a lot. The guys who talked about it, and I had to go check it out. It's definitely worth the time. If you were around, you remember the story. It was no bigger story in sports. I was in the league at the time playing for the Colts. And man, what a time. It was wild, man. But to get that insight, damn, what's the dude's name? Whatever her name is, like, she worst, one of the worst type of people out here, man. Just an all-time finesser, scammer. I wouldn't go as far as saying ruined Manti's life. Obviously, he's had a great life. He's continuing to have a great life. But man, felt terrible for Manti. Felt horrible for the guy. Obviously, he caught a lot of heat. Everybody had jokes. How do you go this long? And fall in love with someone you never met. And this was kind of before catfishing was known as a thing. So to see the behind the scenes and how it all unfolded, man, it's really good doc. Go check it out. Felt terrible for Manti. I'm glad he's doing well now. But man, I can't imagine the type of things him and his family went through. I had to go back. I went back on my Twitter. I said, let me go check my timeline, make sure I wasn't being mean to Manti, man. Because I know I said, I was like, man, when he gets drafted, that locker room gonna let him have it. And I wasn't too mean to him. But I did go out and tweet back in 2013. I said, you know what? This is the best thing that happened to Catfish. And what's crazy is Catfish actually responded to that tweet and said, you're absolutely right. And here's the link for anyone that's been catfished. We're doing a casting call. And that was their second year, and who knows what season they're on now. But man, tough. That was tough. That was tough, man. I felt bad for the guy. Damn near shed a tear at the end. But shout out to Manti. Long life ahead of him. Had an amazing career. And I went to thinking too, man. Because he was supposed to go to USC. He actually, and this is not really a spoiler, but he went in, and when he signed with Notre Dame, he said he got a sign from God, very religious dude. And he actually said he signed to Notre Dame with tears in his eyes. He signed. They had video of him at tears in his eyes signing. Like, he just felt like, that's just the right place. You just can't help but think, like, if he would have just went to USC, been another Oos, Troy Jr., went there, dominated. Who knows how things would have turned out? Probably not getting catfish. What else was another decision? But man, just tough, man. Tough. Shout out, Manti. It got me to thinking too. There's also one part in the doc. It may have been a best linebacker in the league award or something like that, judging by the guys that were up there with him. It was Emmanuel Acho, Dante Hightower, Luke Kuechly, and Manti Te'o, because he was obviously a Heisman finalist as well. But he was up for whatever award. And I'm looking at these guys. It's so crazy how like careers go different directions once you go pro. And you had Emmanuel Acho, who didn't have a great NFL career, but post-career is taking off. Best-selling author on daytime television. Big-time network, face of a network, essentially one of the faces of a network for Fox Sports. So he's obviously doing great. You got Hightower, who's went and won multiple Super Bowls with the Patriots, had a great NFL career. Luke Kuechly obviously retired early with injuries, but in a short span had a first ballot worthy NFL career, one of the best linebackers I've ever seen touch the grass. And then obviously Manti Te'o and the how his career unfolded and unwind. So it was just crazy to see all those four guys and see how everyone's career went in different directions. But I would suggest you go and check it out on Netflix. Great doc. And I watched that one. I watched Woodstock 99. What else have I watched on Netflix? I got to watch this one about shrooms. I got to go check out. But you guys go check out the Pat McAfee Show. It's that time. I'm about to get up out of here. We'll be back on Monday with my guy AB. Still about 2 weeks away, 2.5 weeks away from our first real Overreaction Monday once the season kicks off. But yeah, man. Shout out to Manti. Shout out Luke. Shout out to everybody in here, man. I will see you. We will see you on Monday. Enjoy your day. Be good to somebody. Jameis, comeback player of the year. That don't sound like a terrible bet. Speaking of futures bet, I think Tone did throw some futures in here, some Super Bowl futures. We had a long shot conversation the other day. AB said the Jags could potentially make a Bengals-like magical run right now. They are where are the Jacksonville Jaguars? Am I blind? I don't see him. Oh, there we go. Sheesh. Plus 12,000. So obviously that's a long shot. The Houston Texans have the longest odds right now at plus 30,000. So you bet a hundo and the Texans win the Super Bowl. You go and bring back 30 bands. Let's see. Who do I like? Damn, the Saints plus 4,000. Not a bad bet. I think that's solid value right there. The Raiders plus 4,000. Also not terrible. Let's see who else. The Browns, Cleveland Browns, plus 3,000. Deshaun gets back week 12, I believe. So what shape What shape will Jacoby Brissett have on them? We'll have them in. I'm sorry. Let's see. Who else looks good on here? And for the people that can't see, I'll run off a few of the teams and odds. You got the favorites right now. Buffalo Bills at plus 600. And then the Bucks plus 750. Chiefs plus 1,000. Rams plus 1,100. Packers plus 1,200. Chargers plus 1,400. San Francisco, Broncos, Ravens, Cowboys at plus 2,000. Bengals plus 2,200. I think that's I know they just went last year. Maybe the books are saying that was a magical run. That shit ain't gonna happen again. It's surprising to me that the 49ers and the Denver Broncos have better odds than the Cincinnati Bengals. That's surprising me, but tied with the same odds as the Cincinnati Bengals. The Indianapolis Colts. Once again, why? Right after them, plus 2,500 Philadelphia Eagles. Not a bad bet once again. You look at that roster, very, very talented roster. Let's see who else looks good on here. Let me find another one. I said that's how. Man, I don't really. Steelers. I mean, Mike T always give his guys a chance. Could Kenny Pickett have a magical run? Could Mitch Trubisky show why he was the number 2 pick? They're sitting at plus 7,000. The Panthers, we don't know what they're going to look like with Baker Mayfield under center. A lot of guys getting healthy. J.C. Horn on defense. Brian Burns another year under his belt. Damn, I mean, Matt Rule, I just have no faith in Matt Rule, the coach, to be honest with you. I got more faith. I got no faith in Matt Rule, the head coach. Baker Mayfield, I would be with him, but Baker Mayfield plus Matt Rule, absolutely not getting my money. Sorry, but they're at plus 10,000. They're tied with the Hard Knocks superstars, Detroit Lions at plus 10,000. We got Toad Chin in the background. Could they have a magical run? And Jared Goff return to a Super Bowl? Who knows? Find out on the next episode of the Man to Man Pod. Be out.